Hello, welcome to the Ford Ice Driving School, sponsored with Michelin, and the Ice Driving Immersion course. You know, for some motorists, driving in the wintertime can be a frightening experience when the roads get slick or slippery. But learning how to handle your vehicle under even difficult conditions need not be frightening. Here at the Ice Driving School, what you will learn will not only make you a safer driver, but is rewarding and fun. The creator and the director of the Ford Ice Driving School, Jean-Paul Luc, is a former European rally race driver. Jean-Paul has competed in such events as the 6,000-mile Paris to Dakar Rally, Finland's Thousand Lakes Rally, the Swedish Rally, and countless others. Many of these races have ice and snow-covered roads as an integral part of the race course. Jean-Paul's experience and knowledge of not only driving but racing in these conditions is brought to the Ice Driving School and its staff of professional instructors.
The school will teach you the theory of driving safely and confidently on snow and ice-covered roads. It will then give you the hand-on practice necessary to develop a feel for winter driving, avoid panic and develop proper reflex. At the same time, I hope you will begin to enjoy winter driving by having confidence in the fact that you can control your vehicle in all types of weather conditions, whether it be snow, ice or rain. And it will make you a better driver.
The Ford Ice Driving track is over 1 mile long and has been designed to duplicate all types of driving situations, from high-speed straightaways, to sweeping corners, to hairpin turns, to panic braking areas. The entire course is frozen to simulate the worst winter conditions. At the same time, snowbank guardrails forgive any mistakes and cushion off-road excursions. The school features a wide range of Ford and Lincoln Mercury vehicles, which include front-wheel, rear-wheel, and all-wheel drive cars and light trucks. Each of these vehicles are equipped with various types of Michelin all-weather mud and snow tires, without studs. As we begin the course, we want to talk to you about the theory behind the behavior of a vehicle in difficult driving conditions. Then we want to talk about actual driving techniques you can use in winter conditions. We'll discuss important parts of the vehicle. We'll discuss ideas like traction or grip, and finish off with behavior and driving techniques. First of all, let's begin with some recommendations. Warm up your vehicle before starting. To operate optimally, the engine, the power steering system, and the transmission must all be warm for optimal operation. Make sure you can see and be seen. Clear ice and snow from the windshield and all windows. It's extremely important and required by law. Also, clear ice and snow away from the headlamps, brake lights, and turn signals. Turn your lights on during the day in fog, rain, or snow. And remember to adjust all mirrors for best side and rear view visibility. If it's snowing or foggy at night, you should probably leave your headlights on dim. This will help avoid light reflection off the snow and fog. Start out by buckling up your safety belt. Be comfortable. Choose appropriate boots or shoes. Avoid bulky clothing or gloves that restrict your ability to operate the vehicle's controls. Avoid excessive heat in your vehicle. Instead, keep a constant flow of cool air to help you stay alert. Adjust your driving position. On slippery roads, it's easy to lose control of your vehicle, and one of the best ways to prevent that happening is having a purposeful and comfortable driving position. This is one in which your body has a good relationship to the controls and all the instruments are plainly visible. Too many drivers ignore this important fact which contributes so much to vehicle safety. Your feet should have easy access to the pedals. Your arm, when fully extended, should rest with the wrist on top of the wheel. That way, when you take the proper driving position, you're in the best position to control your vehicle. Adjust your speed to the driving conditions. When driving in a rainstorm or a snowstorm or other bad weather conditions, drive at a safe speed. Be alert. Factors like road condition, weather, visibility can change at a moment's notice. Don't overestimate your capabilities or the capabilities of your vehicle. Icy and snowy roads require an extra margin of safety. So slow down. When you're in a situation that is dangerous, slowing down gives you an extra margin of safety by giving you more time in which to react. The second absolute rule for safe winter driving is avoid the rough use of brakes, accelerator, or steering. Smoothness is the key to successful winter driving. When you think about it, there are only 3 ways we have to control the vehicle: the steering wheel, the brake pedal, and the accelerator. The smooth use of all three of these is the key to success. Outside the vehicle, there are three important parts: the tires, the shock absorber, and the brakes. Tires provide the ultimate point of contact between the vehicle and the road surface. Steering, traction, and braking all depend on the few square inches of the contact where the tire meets the road surface. Tires should be fitted to the vehicle and to the road conditions. In wintertime, we recommend a snow and mud rated tire. Check tire pressures regularly and follow manufacturer's recommendations. For winter driving, do not deflate the tire in an attempt to make a larger contact patch between the tire and the road surface. This will only have negative results. Tires were built to work under a certain load and at a specific pressure. In fact, many vehicles in accidents are found to have either badly inflated or badly worn tires. The shock absorber, too, is another very important piece of winter equipment, especially on slippery roads. Shock absorbers work to dampen the tendency of the spring to continue to compress and rebound after an initial compression. Shock absorbers keep the tires in contact with the road. With worn-out shock absorbers, the tires will tend to keep bouncing up and down rather than maintaining contact with an uneven road surface. Brakes that are unbalanced, badly worn, or grab can cause a vehicle to spin very easily and crash. Make sure yours work properly. The key to safe winter driving begins with a complete understanding of the word grip. Grip is the traction or adhesive quality of contact between the tire and the road surface. If we consider the contact surface between the tire and the road, there is grip when the rotary motion of the tire is equivalent to the movement of the tire over the road surface. In other words, when there's no slippage. When the rotary motion of the tire is faster than the movement of the tire over the road surface, there is a loss of grip or wheel spin. When the rotary motion of the tire is slower than the movement of the tire over the road surface, there is a loss of grip or wheel lockup. Grip is critical for the control of the vehicle, and loss of grip can occur quite suddenly when the road surface conditions change, such as with snow, ice, slush, mud, oil, or water on the road. As soon as the tire loses grip, the vehicle starts to spin, refuses to turn, or refuses to stop. To regain control, it is necessary to regain grip. It is also important to know that although snow means slippery roads, there are other factors which affect grip, such as temperature and snow structure. Indeed, the driving conditions are different depending on whether the snow is thawing, frozen, granulated, or packed. And snow is different at different temperatures. For instance, it's less slippery at 0 degrees than it is at 32 degrees. Before we discuss specific driving techniques, let's talk about the operation of the three controls: the steering wheel, the brake pedal, and the accelerator. Correct hand position on the steering wheel is more important than it sometimes seems. You can be a driver with good reflexes and ability, but if your body position and your hand position is not correct, you cannot control your vehicle efficiently. The proper hand position on the steering wheel is not well known or practiced. Use both hands. Grip the steering wheel firmly but lightly with your hands in the 9 o'clock and in the 3 o'clock position. This position provides the best control of the vehicle regardless of the evasive maneuver you must perform. In this position, your muscles operate at maximum power and precision. It's really the best position as both hands work on the same line through the center of the steering wheel. To turn, slide the hand that is on the inside of the turn up on the steering wheel. Pull the steering wheel down in the direction of the turn, and at the same time, let the other hand slide loosely on the steering wheel. In the middle of the turn, your hand should still be at the 9 o'clock and the 3 o'clock position. At the end of the turn, do not let the steering wheel spin back by itself, but do the opposite maneuver. Move your other hand up that is on the outside of the turn and pull the steering wheel back to the straight position, feeding the wheel smoothly back until the front wheels are once again straight. Depending on the radius of the turn, you need to change your hand positions accordingly. If the turn is a small, tight corner and needs more steering movement, you will slide your hand on the inside of the turn up even further. If the turn is a wide curve and needs less steering movement, your two hands should stay at the 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock position, and only your arms would move. One pushes while the other pulls. Now let's talk about the accelerator. Depressing or lifting off the accelerator must be smooth and progressive, particularly on a slippery road. Rough acceleration can cause wheel spin. If this happens, lift off the accelerator gently until you feel the wheels recover grip. Avoid hard deceleration, which unbalances your vehicle. Depressing or lifting off the accelerator changes the vehicle behavior. You provoke a transfer of weight, which is very important for the vehicle control. However, you may not feel this weight transfer, particularly on snow and ice-covered roads. Braking is a forced deceleration in which the weight of the vehicle transfers forward, loading the front wheels and unloading the rear wheels. Braking is a natural response when you need to slow down in a hurry, but be careful. Hard braking is dangerous if not controlled. Hard braking puts the vehicle out of balance and may cause the wheels to lock up. This eliminates part of the braking effectiveness and all the steering effectiveness. In other words, when the front brakes are locked, the front wheels do not steer the vehicle. Hard braking may also cause the vehicle to spin when the rear wheels are locked. A longer distance is required for stopping on snow or ice. To brake the vehicle most effectively, the brakes must be depressed with enough effort to reach the maximum braking point, which is just before the wheels lock up. This is most efficient for braking, but is also most difficult to do on a slippery road or in an emergency situation. In this situation, the usual reaction is to panic and lock up the wheels. The easiest way to use the brakes when you need to slow down in a hurry is to pump them. Depress and release the brake pedal in a pumping motion. When you pump the brakes, your vehicle can stop in better balance, tends to regain the right attitude, and remain straight on the road. The grip and the steering effectiveness are maintained. How do you apply this technique? Depress the brakes hard enough to the point where you feel the wheels lock up. At this point, release the brake pedal enough to unlock the wheels. By doing so, you make sure you reach the maximum braking point, which is just before the wheels lock up. Repeat this maneuver until you finish your braking. One technological advance that has proven helpful to promote more efficient braking is the anti-lock braking system, or ABS. Ford Motor Company and other vehicle manufacturers are aggressively promoting this system on their new car models. The anti-lock braking system has proved more effective than conventional braking systems in stopping a vehicle in a shorter period of time in an emergency situation, especially on icy or snowy roads. The system works by having a sensor at each wheel which detects wheel motion. If the sensor should detect that the wheel is beginning to lock up, it sends a message to the central computer. The central computer then decreases the brake pressure to that wheel, allowing the wheel to turn again and maintain maximum braking. It works much like conventional brakes by pumping them, except that the ABS system works much faster and much more effectively. According to Ford engineers, the ABS system provides better stopping characteristics and improved control in almost all conditions of weather and road. The theoretical center of mass of the vehicle is called the center of gravity. It depends mainly upon the engine location and can be located towards the front or towards the rear of the vehicle. The location of the center of gravity affects vehicle behavior. Loading the vehicle with passengers and luggage can also change the weight distribution and further affect the behavior of the vehicle. The weight of the vehicle is supported by the tires. Any change from a steady state to acceleration, deceleration, or a change of direction causes a transfer of weight and changes the load on the tires. The load or weight on a tire affects its grip on the road. When you start to accelerate, the weight of the vehicle is transferred rearward. This loads the rear wheels and unloads the front wheels. When you slow down or brake, the weight of the vehicle is transferred forward. This loads the front wheels and unloads the rear wheels. When you go round a corner, the outside wheels are loaded and the inside wheels are unloaded. These reactions in accelerating, decelerating, or turning are common to every vehicle regardless of what wheels drive the vehicle, front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, or all-wheel drive. It doesn't matter. Each type of vehicle has its own specific behavior, depending upon such things as the location of the drive wheels, the wheelbase, the location of the center of gravity, and the weight of the vehicle. These factors combine to create slightly different behaviors, which necessitate slightly different driving techniques. To understand the driving techniques necessary to maintain your vehicle's line of travel, you must be aware of the two factors which most influence vehicle behavior. They are understeer and oversteer. First, let's look at understeer. Understeer is when your vehicle refuses to turn and tends to go straight as you attempt to negotiate a curve or a corner. Your car is turning less than you want it to, it's understeering. It is mainly caused from excessive speed when entering a turn, which leads to a loss of grip on the front tires as you begin to steer into the corner. To correct the situation, you must restore grip to your front tires. However, it's important to note that you do not restore grip by following your natural reflex, which is to increase the steering angle and then to hit the brakes while your front wheels are sliding. This only makes the situation worse. To properly restore grip, you need to transfer more weight to your front wheels. This is accomplished by lifting off the accelerator. This will shift the load to the front wheels and help to restore grip. In addition to slowing down by lifting off the accelerator, you can decrease your steering angle slightly. This will also help your front tires regain their grip and enable you to gain control. After you feel grip is restored, you can turn smoothly back to your line of travel through the curve. Understeer comes also from an excessive braking which causes the front wheels to lock up. In that case, release the brakes to allow the front wheels to regain grip. Understeer can also be caused by an excessive acceleration which causes the front wheels to spin, particularly if your vehicle is a front-wheel drive, but it is also true in all-wheel drive vehicles. To alleviate the problem, lift off the accelerator gently until control is restored. Now let's talk about oversteer. Oversteer happens with excessive speed when you decelerate entering a curve. The rear wheels lose grip and the rear end of the vehicle starts to spin outside the line of travel. It turns more than you want it to do. It oversteers. The rear tires lose their grip and the rear of the vehicle tends to spin outside the line of travel. This is caused again from excessive speed followed by deceleration entering a curve, thereby transferring the vehicle weight forward and unloading the rear wheels. In this case, you must regain grip on the rear tires. Again, just as in understeer, avoid your natural instinct to hit the brakes. Instead, accelerate gently without spinning the tires. This transfers more weight to the rear wheels and helps the tires regain their grip. At the same time, you should turn your steering wheel in the direction of the skid. By turning in the direction of the skid, we mean if the rear of your vehicle is sliding to the right, turn your steering wheel to the right. If the rear of your vehicle is sliding to the left, turn your steering wheel to the left. By turning your steering wheel in the direction of the skid and accelerating without spinning the tire, you will tend to straighten your vehicle and regain directional control. By doing so, you should avoid a counter skid, which is more difficult to control than a normal oversteer. Counter skid is the rebound motion of the suspension, which sends the vehicle in the opposite direction and then rebounding back and forth until it crashes. If your vehicle is a rear-wheel drive vehicle, oversteer can also come from an excessive acceleration which causes the rear wheels to spin. You must lift off the accelerator gently to readjust this. This oversteer situation happens only with a rear-wheel drive vehicle at slow speed, in a parking lot or on a tight corner, for instance, and it can be easily controlled, as we said before. In an emergency situation, there are three absolute things to remember. Number one, do your braking on the straightaway before the curve. Number two, take your foot off the brake and coast around the corner as you steer smoothly. Number three, don't begin to accelerate again until you're on the straightaway coming out of the curve. Why do we recommend that you do these things one after the other on a slippery road? Your vehicle depends on grip to hold itself onto the road. Under good driving conditions on a dry road with a very high coefficient of adhesion, it is possible to use one part of that adhesion for steering the vehicle and another part of that adhesion for braking the vehicle at the same time. This should not pose any real problems as you're well within grip limitations. But if you try to do the same thing on a slippery road with a very low coefficient of adhesion, you will not have sufficient adhesion to both brake and to steer at the same time. That's why we recommend that you use the whole available adhesion on the straightaway to brake and then the whole available adhesion on the curve to steer. To illustrate, lift off the accelerator and brake only when your vehicle is in a straight position. In order to keep the grip, turn the steering wheel smoothly while cornering, but do not brake or accelerate. You use all the available adhesion just for steering and coasting around the corner. At the end of the curve, you can begin to accelerate while at the same time you decrease the steering angle and exit the corner. These are the basics of car control theory. The instructors will answer any questions you have, and then it'll be time to get out of the classroom and get out onto the course to put theory into practice.